Hey, Zach. I'm still waiting my turn to be called on by the LAPD, so. Audit left, so I came back on. Let's turn the volume
Porter
up.
was murdered, not by an accident, not by a misunderstanding, not by a rogue off-duty agent. Keith Porter was killed by the state, by the same machinery of policing and immigration enforcement that this board oversees, legitimizes, and protects.
Chief.
Keith Porter was a father, a son, a neighbor. He was celebrating the new year with his community when an off-duty ICE agent stole his life. And even now, weeks later, his family still does not have the name of the man who killed him. That silence is not neutral. It is policy. It is how law enforcement compounds violence. First with a bullet, then with secrecy, delay, and bureaucratic cruelty. You want the public to believe in the myth of Los Angeles as a sanctuary city, but there's no sanctuary when LAPD and ICE are functionally indistinguishable. There's no sanctuary when LAPD trains alongside ICE, shares intelligence, shares technology, shares values, and shares a mandate to police Black and brown life out of public space. Sanctuary collapses the moment policing exists because policing is designed to protect property, borders, and whiteness, not people. And we see the same violence playing out in Skid Row every single day. Today's agenda includes so-called protections for people's living in RVs, as mentioned earlier. Let's be clear, this is not about safety. This is not about support. This is a displacement blueprint. LAPD, DOT, and LASA already admit that RV residents are afraid to provide identifying information because they fear retaliation, criminalization, and losing their only shelter. And instead of responding by stopping enforcement, you respond by escalating it. Shame. Homes are being towed, birth certificates are being confiscated, children's toys are being thrown away, families are being scattered, and the people most impacted are Black and brown communities. The same communities LAPD has always targeted, from Skid Row to South Central. Keith Porter's murder is not separate from this. It is part of the same continuum of violence. Whether it's an off-duty ICE agent or an on-duty LAPD officer, the outcome is the same. Black life is treated as disposable. You cannot reform this. You cannot train this away. You cannot oversight your way out of a system whose foundation is control, removal, and death. LAPD will always collaborate with ICE because they were built for the same purpose. LAPD will always criminalize poverty because poverty threatens the order they exist to defend. Justice for Keith Porter, justice for all of those murdered by the state, and abolish the police. Hamid Khan. Next we have Hamid Khan. Okay. Jason Reedy.
Thanks, guys, for being here. I have my hand up and I'm on hold, so we'll see if they call on me. I'm not going to be nearly as fire as these people are. I just don't have it in me today. But I couldn't just leave mid-meeting. Audit and Lara left because they're going to do the city council meeting.
At least I'm glad that we're speaking about what happened to Keith Porter as a law enforcement operation. And as we have said so many times and documented that and shown that LAPD is one of the biggest exporters of state violence. Not only training El Salvadorian paramilitary squads, not only training the U.S. Marine Corps to how to use these urban guerrilla warfare tactics and counterinsurgency tactics in Iraq, ICE is very much hand in glove with the LAPD. This is the myth of the sanctuary city that we've been talking about. These are the lies because LAPD is providing sanctuary to ICE. Right. LAPD is providing
Thanks, Monica.
To Immigration and Customs Enforcement and the Customs and Border Patrol. That's exactly the fallacy and the lies that we have been exposing over here, week after week after week. Keith Porter, as everybody else has said, and the cousin who was speaking about it, he should have been alive. He should have been here. But again, as a normal law enforcement operation, off-duty officer-involved killings are numerous. Salvador Sanchez, the LAPD cop, who shot this intellectually disabled young man at Costco. The other shooting that happened in Boyle Heights at Hollenbeck Station. It's an ongoing routine. It's a practice. It's the intent to cause harm. And that's why we need to abolish this system. You cannot reform this fuckery. You cannot change that. These are all the overseers, just as slave catchers have set the tone for the institutions, That's exactly what's going on with ICE as well. Same patterns. Let's see what's happening in Minneapolis. Why the Somali community is being impacted. Errol Southers was the main architect of CVE, Countering Violent Extremism program. Minneapolis was a pilot city for the launching of that program. The Somali youth were at the center of demonizing the immigrant community. LAPD is the launching pad for CVE as well. LAPD started that. Mike Downing used to be the deputy chief who testified in front of Congress. Errol Southers, who was the president of the police commission, testified in front of Congress, saying, and I may miss the code a little bit here and there, that and to the extent that anybody in America who identifies themselves as a Muslim is a potential domestic terrorist. This is a direct quote from Errol Southers. So this is how they put targets on us. That's why you can't reform this sick system.
Jason Reedy.
All right, so 2025 has come to a close, and LAPD is once again the most murderous PIC department in the nation. 2025 saw the most shootings by LAPD in a decade with 47, and LAPD shot and killed at least 17 people. And that's the most people since 2021. And even in 2021, you claim to have only shot and killed 17 people, but we all know you chose not to include the killing of bystanders like Valentina Oriana Peralta in that count. Now, since the Pinkest of Pigs likes to make comparisons between LAPD and Chicago PD and NYPD, I want to break down the numbers on this one. In 2025, NYPD had 28 shootings, killing 14. And for the record, NYPD has 34,700 pigs compared to LAPD's 8,640. CPD had 23 shootings, killing 9 with 11,541 pigs in their pen. Now, we heard Troy talk last month about how tough it was to draw comparisons to other pig departments when it comes to shootings, as if we don't hear your swine comparing LAPD, comparing the LAPD to other departments in other aspects. And when Troy started to claim that certain info about shootings from other departments isn't always available, this completely is devoid from the fact that LAPD is deeply entrenched in data sharing with pigs in different departments, states, and agencies. Your pigs murdered Lawrence Gonzalez on December 31st, and 13 days have passed without the names of his killers being released. If any of us murdered someone, our name would be front and center. But when the LAPD kills someone, this department, with the commission's consent, delays the release of the names of their killers for weeks at a time. Now we're seeing you partner with ICE in concealing the name of Keith Porter Jr.'s murder. You called this murder a, quote, confrontation. Never mentioned the fact that another resident at that complex reported bullet holes in their wall, fired by Keith Porter's murderer. And to add to all that, this ICE pig was off duty. And just like LAPD does with its own, if a pig is off duty and commits a crime, they look the other way. So here you have this pig murder a black father and put the lives of other residents in danger. And all LAPD can say is, it wasn't us. Now, Jim, I watched your little interview with Conan Nolan. Not surprisingly, Jim couldn't say what he thought about the shooting of Renee Good because it was, quote, unfair to make an opinion. Suddenly, Jim has nothing to say about when a pig murders someone. In that same interview, you referred to the murder of George Floyd as a, quote, incident. You told Conan Nolan the department was in relatively good shape after the, quote, worst city budget in history. You know, the one where LAPD got their biggest budget ever. And McDonald said that shootings aren't a training issue, claiming that LAPD is the best trained department in the nation. So there shouldn't be any more requests for funding for these bullshit trainings, as they are only meant to pad the pockets of your pigs. Now, since we're going to do character assassinations of fathers, Fabian, I want to ask you, since, you know, my parenting has been made a topic of discussion by this commission and department, why don't you tell the people, how long did you leave your family for to rubber stamp LAPD's terror and violence on December 16th? For those that don't know, Fabian came to commission for about, 5 hours that day, leaving his wife and their 3-week-old child at home so he could come run cover for the LAPD. What a real man you are, Fabian. Do you want to tell Jim how you were going to quit being commissioner when he was appointed?
Madam Secretary, call the next speaker, please.
Next, we have Michael Williams. Michael Williams.
I'm here to talk about one thing and one thing only. Why is the murderer of Keith Porter Jr., that ICE agent, not in handcuffs in a jail and having pending prosecution for murder? That's the only thing I care about. That's the only thing I'm worried about. That's the only thing I want to hear y'all say. Because if this was anyone else, if a citizen or even a security guard saw someone walking, not shooting, not firing, saw someone walking, and then went back into their house, got their gun, got their vest, and came out and shot that person in front of their door, that person would be in handcuffs. There would be no self-defense argument possible. But because it's an off-duty ICE agent, who even if he was on duty, would not have the right to do what he did, does not have the jurisdiction to have been involved in what he was trying to involve himself in, all of a sudden now he gets his name hidden. Now all of a sudden he don't get no charges. They just ask him nicely, what did you do? What happened? Okay, you said self-defense. Okay, that's good for us. Y'all have been complicit with ICE before the raids. The reason why they know where to go, why they're tracking people's cars, is because of y'all. You guys gave them ICE license plate reader information and are continuing to do so. Hamid, have they said if they've stopped that practice? And y'all refuse to do an investigation on the illegal sharing of information between LAPD and ICE. And you call yourself a civilian body. You call yourself an oversight body. You're over here congratulating yourselves about what work you guys have done. You've done nothing. I don't come here, and I think I speak for a lot of us, we don't come here because we expect y'all to do anything. We come here because there's no better example of how ineffective, how cruel, how callous, and how corrupt the city of Los Angeles is than the LA Police Commission. And we're here to expose you. We're here to expose you. That's why we're here. And if you think I'm wrong, then prove me wrong.
Next, we have Greg Achille.
That was amazing.
Greg Achille.
Sorry, I'm shuffling around. I'm looking for my stitch markers. I can't find them. What the frick?
You know, Michael, we should put what you said on a loop and just play it over and over again.
I'm going to take this off.
Today, we are here and to do two things: to demand transparency, accountability, and to do it in a timely fashion. One of the things that Michael talked about was, and many people have made reference to, is this so-called sanctuary city. Keith Foster was killed, was murdered by an off-duty ICE officer, which means he was not fulfilling his role. And so that would require an immediate investigation. If the situation had been reversed, you'd have my name plastered across all newspapers. So the first thing we want to do is reveal who the murderer is. We know he's an off-duty ICE agent, and we want this investigation done in a timely fashion, in 30 days. Now, I find it interesting that I'm from Black Lives Matter, and we've come here and challenged y'all a lot. I'm asking you to do something that under different circumstances, I would never trust. And I still don't trust that you're going to do it. But at least we have to be here to make the demand. If we had not been here to make the demand, Grishario's Mac killer would have never been at least prosecuted. And so that's why we had to be here. That's why many of us are here. One, an immediate publishing of the name of the off-duty ICE officer. Two, transparency. 3, a timely investigation, and 4, recommendations that he be prosecuted, that person be prosecuted by the DA. We sat with the DA on Monday of last week, and he said, well, we don't know if we're going to do anything. We'll wait for the police. That's like saying, that's like the fox saying we'll wait for the chicken to come around. We can't trust you. We can't trust you or them. But here we are. As Michael just said, prove us wrong. Prove us wrong. Now, many of us have been here before, and you've always proven us right. You always take the side of the police over the people. You've done that every time we've come here. And I suspect that you'll do the same thing now. A 30-day investigation. Tell us who the ICE officer was. Full transparency and accountability and a complete investigation. And it should be, I would honestly say it should be independent because I don't trust y'all. But let's start with you.
Excellent point.
Sheila Bate.
Good job.
Sheila
Good
Bates.
job. Kudos to these people going and speaking out about this shit.
Excuse me. I don't think they called your name. Have a seat, please.
I apologize. Thank you.
I can't find my stitch markers. I'm getting pissed. I probably left it in the car or something. I'm kind of at a standstill until I get them.
Chick McDonald, you know you need to be removed. You know you've been a Nazi, a terrorist to the communities, and I seen your interview with Marquise talking about y'all are supporting or trying to stop human trafficking. You're a lie. The human trafficking is at DHS. The human trafficking is the president's running the office. You need to get justice. We need to get justice for Keith Porter. We know you hiding him. We know you snuck him out in the middle of the night. We know that you're hiding him. You need to get us justice for Black and brown people. Protect your community. Stop being a fucking Nazi. Stop being like your fucking president. You have some type of heart. The fact that y'all have some sensitivity to a baby crying, that says a lot about all y'all hearts. All y'all up there. Y'all some fucking demons. We need to get justice for Black and brown people. And this blood is on your hands, Chief McDonald, Keith Porter. This should have never happened. And the fact that you got these ICE agents in our community, and now y'all want to protect them, we know you're hiding them. Release the name. Release. And then get him arrested. He needs the death penalty. And if you don't do that, you need the same, every Nazi in here need the same consequences as Charlie Kirk. Because y'all are evil terrorist people. Justice for Keith Porter, justice for every Black and brown people that's been taken off the street by ICE since Trump got into office. Period. Fuck you, Chief.
Next, we have Dr. Melina Abdullah.
I want to co-sign what Hamid Khan said, that we come here sometimes with false hope that you'll do something, but we know that the truth is not. You won't do anything. You won't do anything. Michael said we're here to expose you. We're here to expose you. We know who you are, Chief McDonald. You were the ICE sheriff, and now you're the ICE chief. We know that you collaborated with ICE, and that's why you were voted out in favor of Alex Villanueva, because Angelinos thought that even he was better than you. It's shameful that Karen Bass appointed you over the will of the people. It's shameful. And you continue to prove who you are, a racist, anti-Black, anti-migrant fascist. It is terrible. Teresa Gordon Sanchez, what's terrible about you is you're married to a Black man. You got Black people in your family. And instead of condemning this murder of this Black father, Keith Porter was a girl dad. Keith Porter was a worker. Keith Porter was someone who saw the humanity in everybody. And instead of lifting him up, what do? You condemn a Black father and tell him to control his child. You tell the 4-month-old to control their conversation. You point to people who are saying there's extra seats in here for people to come in and call them disruptors. Well, you should be called on to disrupt this bullshit. You should be disrupting what happened to Keith Porter. You should be calling for justice in his name, Judge Teresa. If you're really about justice, then be about justice and stop betraying who you say you love. You say you love your husband, then stand up for a Black father. Do something. The demands are clear. We want that ICE agent to be named, to be arrested, and for y'all to quit with the fucking character assassination. You allowed LAPD to get out there and call him a suspect. He's the fucking victim. To call him an active shooter. The shooter was the ICE agent that killed Keith Porter. Shame on y'all. Look, y'all, ultimately justice is in our hands. Justice means holding this fool accountable. Sign the petition for justice for Keith Porter, tinyurl.com/sign-for-Keith. And all of them are appointed by Mayor Bass. If they don't do what we need them to do, then she needs to suffer the political repercussions. Vote her ass out. She's running for office.
Madam Secretary.
Next, we have Eva Stambos.
Here's what I'll say about the murder of Keith Porter. Jesus said, love thy neighbor, not kill thy neighbor. It's not acceptable on any moral or legal anything. Release his name, arrest him, and end the character assassination of Keith Porter, a loving father. Thank you.
Next, we have T.
Hello and bad morning to all of y'all. First off, congratulations on not shooting or killing anyone in just 2 weeks. That's got to be a new record for y'all. LAPD is the most murderous police force in the nation. You routinely harass real workers, real working class Black and brown people in the city, which you know police are not. Police are not real workers. They're a corrupt criminal organization. Every single time I see a cop, they're on their phone playing games in their car. They're sitting in their cars doing nothing at all. They're eating at restaurants surrounded by real civilians, real workers, and they're sitting in there with their badges and loaded firearms in these restaurants where real living people are. They're waiting in the streets to harass Black and brown youth, and they are assisting ICE, despite this being a quote-unquote sanctuary city. They are crafting narratives that excuse ICE criminal behavior. They're covering up the murder of Keith Porter Jr. and hiding the ICE murderer responsible. They refuse to conduct a transparent investigation for the people. You say you disapprove of ICE's actions, Teresa, but your officers are aiding and abetting them. The LAPD is a corrupt and gluttonous criminal organization that is aided and abetted by all of you here today. Their shady criminal acts are covered up by you all and their lobbying organization, the LA Police Protective League, and the district attorney and the mayor, Karen, and all others before her and all commissioners before you. Why is it that every single government agency in Los Angeles is getting defunded except for the police? While other actual civil servants are being laid off, this sham of an agency is getting even more of our tax dollars. You are all wildly unpopular in the streets, and you all know it, which is why your fragile-ass cops are on the streets violently harassing civilians who simply hurt your feelings. We saw the sheriff deputy say that their feelings were hurt by a Starbucks worker drawing a pig cartoon on the cup. That is representative of every single fuck-ass cop with a fragile ego in this room, who have 6 months of mandatory training and are out here killing people. What the fuck are you gonna do about that? These are criminals. No amount of dehumanizing our lives will erase the stain of the blood on your hands. Your officers are a stain on humanity. You are not God, and God did not leave these pathetic excuses for human beings in charge. You do not get to decide who lives and who dies. So let me say this right now. If you aren't gonna hold yourselves accountable, which I know you're not, I call on the blood of my ancestors, whose blood is all woven up and through this land, to curse you all, to curse your descendants for 7 generations. I curse you until the day my people receive.
Different tea. Cocoon.
Madam President,
Madam Secretary.
Madam President, we're now at 26 minutes. Madam President, we're now at 26 minutes over the 45 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to take a 10-minute break.
Okay, well, 10-minute break. We'll see if they take any more callers after that or any more live people. Don't believe in curses, but I appreciate her sentiment. Yeah, exactly, Cricket. Sorry, there's a little bit of an echo. When I put the knitting up too, it does that. Yeah, check the box. Hey, Peter. You know, I'm almost embarrassed to talk about Scientology when these people are talking about ICE and shootings and the severe corruption that's going on currently with LAPD. I might, I still have my hand up. I'm still going to wait and try. But I'm definitely going to mention some of the stuff they've mentioned as well. So I don't think they're going to call on me, though, at this point. Traveltology. Hey, how are you? Hope things are well in the Netherlands. It was fun having you on the other night. Cricket, I did a late night stream Saturday night. I had Peter on, I had Traveltology on, I had Mock on, and we just hung out. Talked about some of the meeting bullshit. And some other stuff. You're not feeling well? Oh, no. Yeah, there's something going around. Everyone seems to be sick. AB 707 goes into effect July 1st. Yeah, Peter, you're more up on those things than I am. I really have been trying my best to not get involved politically with all the stuff because it's too much for me. It's just too emotional for me. It really wears on me and makes me sick, physically sick, mentally sick, physically sick. I just can't handle the stress of it. But as much as I try to keep my head in the sand, you can't escape it. There's just so much terrible shit going on. Rest in peace to Renee Good. Rest in peace to, Keith. I have it written down because I was going to mention it. Keith Porter. Yeah, it's just insanity in this world right now. You can't escape it. And I know I'm part of the problem by keeping my head in the sand, but I used to be a lot more involved politically. I grew up in the D.C. area. I've mentioned it before. Chow Young Smut kept you up late last night. Yeah, I used to be a lot more politically involved, like a lot more. But I felt like I was just hitting my head against a wall and there was just so much bullshit and it was really wearing on me and I'm struggling with my physical health. So it was just too much for me. I had to take a step back. When you feel so powerless and nothing is changing. So I took a step back from it. I pretty much avoid following any of it. But even if the Keith Porter people need to go to the grand jury, yeah. Cricket's helping out by helping on political streams. It's hard. It is. It's really hard for me. And I'm an empathetic person. I have a delicate health issue that I have to keep my stress levels low. So I really try to stay out of politics. I try to stay out of the drama in the Scientology community because of it. But there's only so much you can ignore before you're just part of the problem. And you can't escape it. It's just so much, and it's so prevalent, and it's so bad that you can't help but have some involvement, or else, like I said, you're part of the problem. It's a real privileged place to be able to ignore it. There's so many people in this world that it's their day-to-day reality. They don't have that luxury of being able to ignore it. And I do realize that, at least. I realize I'm speaking from a place of privilege. And yeah, you can call me out on it because it's true. And I won't argue. And yeah, it's really wearing on me today. I'm not strong this week. Not strong this week, but I wanted a chance to speak, and I wanted to support Audit LA and Lara. They did a great job. Streets LA did a great job. Powerful speakers. They did amazing. I mean, if you get a chance, go back and watch Audit LA stream to see Audit speak, to see Lara speak, to see Streets LA speak, because it was really amazing, really impactful, and so much fire and passion and persistence. And yeah, it was amazing. They did a great job. As long as you keep balance with your health. I'm trying Traveltology. I can't afford the StreamYard either, so I'm probably going to let that go and back away a little bit because it's really wearing on me. I can only do so much. You saw I had to leave quickly Saturday because I started getting seizure aura. I've just been overdoing it. Right now I need to focus on my workouts and getting my ketogenic diet back up and running because it really helps me with my seizure disorder. So I'm trying to get out more and do more restful things, trying to get back in the ocean more. I have a garden. I've been trying to get into my garden more. I was in my garden yesterday for a couple hours. Tried to do some knitting yesterday. I got some knitting done. I got the frog part done. I don't know if you guys can make it out. Here, I'll put it on big screen. If it'll let me. Here we go. I'm pushing the wrong area. So can you make out the frog now, finally? I got a frog there. Ignore these. These are just so I know where to do the decreases and they don't stay on the final product. But I got a frog finally. 4 of them. 4 frogs. See, that's flipper, frog leg, frog body, frog hands, arms, hands, frog head. You can finally make it out at least. Step back. Susan Paris says she stepped back from a lot of Scientology, except the ones I feel safe in. Yeah. There's a lot of trauma in this community, and it's hard if you're also struggling with your mental health, your physical health. It's a lot of stress. And that's why one of the main reasons why I keep out of the drama as much as I possibly can and just try to support everyone. They're all on their own journey. They're all going to fuck up, excuse my language, and just let them be who they want to be and what they want to do. But I try to avoid all of the drama streams. But when I see them doing good, I support the good that they do. What am I gardening? You love gardening? Well, I'm just starting to. Surfer's mantra from Kakan says, get in the water. And then Cricket's asking about my garden. How does my garden grow with silver bells and cockleshells? No, I'm kidding. Right now, I'm just planting it. So right now I have tomatoes, spinach, squash, cantaloupe, carrots, sunflower seeds, and some herbs. I have cilantro, basil, and oregano that I'm growing right now. And some mint. I think that's it for right now. I still have a lot more to plant, but you know, San Diego's year-round growing it. The only time it's not good to grow too often is like, you know, August, September, early September, late summer. But the rest of the year is pretty much a growing season. So I've been planning a lot. Here, let's check on the Zoom. Make sure I'm not missing something. Actually, wait a minute. I gotta take me off of Big. Yeah, it's still on recess. I thought I'd accidentally closed the window, but it's still open. Yeah, growing all this stuff can be a significant saving. San Diego soil does have too many rocks, so I have a raised planter bed with soil in it. And can't wait to see what takes off and what's doing well. I got seeds, part of my Christmas gift, and I got some garden tools and a gift card for some of my Christmas gifts. It's the only thing I got for Christmas, actually, but that's what I asked for, so it's what I wanted. I'm planning on getting strawberry plants with my gift card. I don't know what else, but definitely the strawberry plants. I want to grow some strawberries. Cricket says that where he is, they have a lot of great stone walls because it's so rocky. Well, not only is San Diego rocky, it's compacted sand that's been baked in the sun for decades. So there's areas where it's just rock hard. You can't hardly even dig into it at all. I know that from experience. It's really hard to dig into the desert sand. People think, oh, it's just sand. They think beach. No, it's like baked and compacted for eons. And it's hard as a rock. It's like trying to dig into sandstone. Not quite, but almost. So Peter's right about that. It's baked in the hot sun and trampled on for eons. It's not like fresh sand dunes. There are sand dunes in places. We used to go out to the desert as teens and climb up the sand dunes and then go rolling down them. Yeah, usually involved a bonfire and drinking and then rolling down sand dunes and looking at the stars. The stars in the desert at night are amazing. It's gorgeous. The best sunsets in the world are in the desert. There's so much dust and sand and particulate matter in the air that the sunsets in the desert are amazing. I definitely need to plan a desert trip this spring, so hopefully I'll get a good desert sunset for you. I want to go out and look at the poppy fields this spring. It should be a good year for poppies, don't you think, Peter? Should be a good year for the poppies. We had so much early rain. That's usually a good indicator of a good poppy year. And they have these bright, brilliant neon orange fields, whole entire fields, just bright, reflective. It'd be like if you took safety orange and made it reflective. It's that bright. Fields of orange poppies. It's amazing. It's really beautiful. So I want to film the poppies and a sunset out in the desert and visit some friends. I haven't been out there in a while. California Valley soil is much better than any soil in San Diego County. Yeah, that's probably true. Puppies, sweetest puppies. Yeah, The Wizard of Oz was written here in San Diego, actually. And when they were talking about fields of poppies, they actually meant the orange California poppies. It was the inspiration for the fields of poppies in Wizard of Oz. But red poppies are so much more worldwide known and more iconic. So when they were doing the movie, they thought world red poppies, traditional red poppies. Okay, they're coming back in. They took it off recess on the screen. So let's see if they're going to start up.
The meeting is back in order. Madam Secretary, how many more do we have on the list to speak?
We have 22 more speakers left.
See what they decide.
All right, we have 22 more speakers. We cannot take 22 more speakers. We're going to take 4 more, and then public comment will be over.
Okay, 4 more.
Call the next.
We have
speaker, please.
Gabriel from Central CSO. Gabriel. Okay. Camille Lewis.
It's illegal to pick the poppies, Peter. They're protected. And I don't believe the orange poppies have any opium qualities. It's just the red ones do. And yeah, when I think of red poppies, I think of Normandy too, Travelology.
You're trash. Justice for Keith Porter. I can't believe you're not taking the 22 people. You said everybody would get to speak.
I'm
Justice for
shocked too,
Keith
Peter.
Porter.
Next, we have TJ. Is TJ here?
Yes, fuck ICE, fuck LAPD, the most murderous police department in the country. We demand that the LAPD release the name of the law enforcement agent who killed Keith Porter while he was simply celebrating the promise of what could have been a new year. What is the delay other than LAPD's constant attempts to cover up the wrongful death of Keith Porter and the constant cover-ups and lies regarding the murders of Black, Brown, and Indigenous community members? It is systemic, it is perpetual, it needs to end. Fuck the police, fuck ICE. Also, stop criminalizing the life and existence of Keith Porter with the incessant character assassination that has been seen since his death, to in some fucked up way try to justify Keith's murder by some off-duty, vigilante, bullshit, white supremacist, domestic terrorist who will be continuing to terrorize our city and kill more Black, Brown, and Indigenous folks unless you all force their identification and get them off the streets. Unlike anyone in this commission, Keith exuded love for his community and cared deeply about all those he loved: a father, a son, a cousin, and someone loved by everyone who knew him. Do the right thing, expose Keith's murder.
Next, we have Megan.
They're not going to call on me. They're not taking Zoom calls.
How sad you were about the year that we had, and you listed the ICE raids as one of the reasons why you're sad, as if you don't know that the body that you are supposedly in charge of accountability for actively collaborates with them. It's ridiculous. You also want to say you're sad about officer-involved shootings? Shut the fuck up. That's what you're in charge of. That's what you're in charge of. You don't get to say that you're sad about it. This guy told the LA Times that he was proud of the year that he had last year. He told the LA Times he was proud in a year in which police shootings were up 70%, in a year in which you used tear gas on protesters for the first time in 50 years in defiance of the Geneva Convention, in a year in which you went to court to fight for the right to shoot journalists. Fuck you. You're disgusting. Fabian, you are a useless bootlicking sack of shit. Do you understand me? How dare you get up there and be like, I'm looking forward to working with the team to get some memos and some data to address these shootings. Are you fucking kidding me? There are people in here that have been coming to these meetings for 10 years. You guys have been talking about the training and the data for longer than that. You're worth nothing. Jeffy, I know that you like to think of yourself as like a liberal and asking the hard questions. All your hard questions are about the journalists. Are you able to empathize with them because more of them look like you? Is that why you're concerned about their unjust killings and the LAPD treating them unjustly? I think so. How about speaking up for the other people that are shot by LAPD and the other people that are treated unlawfully by LAPD? Jesus Christ, it's literally nauseating listening to you guys ask your non-questions and pretend like you're doing something. You're thanking these people for volunteering 20 to 30 hours a week unpaid. You guys spend 20 to 30 hours a week unpaid to run cover for the deadliest fucking police department in the country. 20 to 30 hours unpaid doing that. You are demons. You are demons. I also watched a video of LAPD arresting a homeless man who was refusing to leave his tent because they had made him leave the day before that and the day before that in torrential downpour. That's right. That's all you guys do. You have no business being there. And this little sniveling report you release about how you're going to work with people to provide services, it's bullshit. We all know that it's bullshit. Justice for Keith Porter. We know you don't give a shit about him, but we're here to say it anyway. Fuck you guys. I can't wait.
Gina Viola.
I messed up. I have to go back. And yeah, they're definitely not calling on me. That's the fourth call, and they're not taking Zoom calls, it appears. I was hoping maybe.
I'm so glad I got a new way to address you now. Y'all are some fucking demons. Ugh. Jim McDonald, I want to go on record each and every fucking time I get up here to say that you are an ICE-loving slave catcher. That is who you are. That is why you are hired to run this department. How do I know this? Because you gave a Know Your Rights training on the West Side after ICE rolled into town. So you're telling ICE where they can go door to door in Echo Park, but not on the West Side, right? You're protecting folks on the West Side from their gardeners and their nannies and their housekeepers from getting snatched. That's what you're doing. And the rest of you, you're the fucking watchdogs for white supremacy. That's what you are. You normalize the anti-blackness in this city so deeply and daily. 20 to 30 hours of your volunteer work, we know why you're doing it. To enrich your own lives. We know what happens after you sit on this commission for a couple years. Your nonprofits get richer. You get fucking podcasts like Shane Murphy Goldsmith. You get property like Steve Soberoff. You get named the rebuilding czar, right, of the West Side like Steve Soberoff. We know that's why you're here. You're not here to protect us. You are not here to protect Keith Porter. You are not here to protect anyone. You are here to run cover for the 70% increase the LAPD has seen on police shootings in this city. That is despicable. Listening to your report is nauseating. Hearing you talk about how you don't even have the proper tools to report the data accurately. All the money that we give you, you get all the money this city has, and you don't even have the tools to report the data accurately? But that'll change next year? Sure it will. Suing? Do you know that you can't even sue the fucking LAPD? You have to sue the city of Los Angeles. So if I want to sue you motherfuckers, I have to sue myself because I fucking live here. Most of your officers do not. I believe it's 90% of your officers don't even live in the city. So I have to sue myself to get some fucking justice from you. And who's at fault for that? This body right here. This body right here that spends more time reading from a script about what decorum looks like in this room. Let me tell you something. The indigenous had words for children that translated to sacred beings. Sacred beings. And you make them out to be the problem. You exhibit that here in this room with a 4-month-old and 4-year-old, right?
Well, how do we know you're treating our youth out in the city? We know how you're treating our youth out in the city, just like you do in this room. We know how you're treating Black and brown folks out in the city, just like you do in this room. You are a fucking disgrace. You should all resign today.
Sorry again for the shuffling around. I realized
Madam Secretary?
the
Madam
AirPods
President,
aren't working.
that was the 4 additional speakers.
Could you repeat?
When that concludes the public comment.
Public comment has concluded. We are going to move now to our next item.
Ladies in the audience yelling.
The
But they
Board of
muted it. I can't hear her though. She's in there pointing fingers and
The
screaming.
Board of Police Commissioners cannot conduct an orderly meeting because the people are not orderly.
I wonder
This
why.
creates an actual disruption.
Why aren't
If
the
it
people
does not
orderly?
immediately, I will order the room cleared pursuant to California Government Code
Hey,
Section
Jennifer.
54957.9.
Why aren't my AirPods connecting to this phone? Let me try something.
We are going to move now to the next agenda item. Please have a seat. Because the disruptions have not stopped and the board is unable to conduct an orderly meeting, I am ordering the room cleared pursuant to the California Government Code Section 54957.9. Officers, please clear the room.
Bunch of people about to get arrested. Potentially. Oh, they blocked out this camera. Pussies. I wanted to see this. Here they are hiding their own actions again. Ha ha. Yep. They don't want to show their crimes. They don't want to show their bullshit. Yeah, that would have been great to see. Have them stream their own nefarious actions, and then instead they blank out the screen for us. I know, Jennifer. Fucking pussies. And I hate saying that because it's misogynist, and pussies are a beautiful thing. Pussies are what bring babies in. Sorry I'm being spicy language, but these people rile people up and don't take accountability for their crimes. And then they complain when people get mad and upset. It's like, oh, well, maybe do your job. Maybe behave ethically. Maybe let the people talk that you said you were going to let talk at the beginning of the meeting. Maybe have a little compassion. Maybe then people wouldn't be so antagonistic towards you if you weren't in such a corrupt division. Maybe you'd get the respect you think you deserve. They demand respect. They think they're above the law. And then they get upset when people call them out on their bullshit. Sorry, I'm a little riled up. You can't listen to 2 hours of this bullshit and not get affected by it. And yeah, it's been 2 hours and 10 minutes now. People go there week after week, Cricket says, and get zero response off them. Yeah. F them, not off them. F them. Yeah, exactly, Cricket. No need to be sorry. Well, some people are offended by it. So I don't feel that I need to monitor my words necessarily in situations like these. And so I will get feisty a little bit, a little spicy. So I'm not really sorry, but I'm sorry if it offends people. That part I'm sorry for. I'm not sorry for saying the words I feel and that are appropriate in this situation. The movie Team America said there are 3 kinds of people: dicks, pussies, and assholes. I would argue there's dicks and pussies, and they're all assholes. Yeah. I think everyone has the potential to be an asshole, for sure. We're not going to agree with everything everyone says, and that therefore you're an asshole, and you have to be willing to be an asshole in someone else's story once in a while, because it's going to happen. So just accept it, and accept that people are going to be assholes to you, and just don't support when they're assholes, but support the good they do. Assholes shit on everybody. Yep. That's what Peter was saying. Just quoting Peter. Again, salty language today, guys. It happens. I wish they were letting me see what the frick was happening. They have the screen on recess. There's probably some live streamer out there who's got it in person that probably we should all tune into, but I can't think of who, because Audit left. Laura left. They wanted to go to the City Hall meeting. I wonder if Streets is doing it. I'm going to look it up. See if Streets LA is. Audit shows she's still on her way. Or just leaving. Oh, actually, no, I'm not caught up to real time. No, it's not. It's scrolling. Streets left. Okay. Well, that sucks. When they come back, it's going to be all the bullshit stuff of just carrying on the meeting. All the people that are there protesting, trying to stand up for what's right, are going to be escorted out, and half of them probably arrested. They already did city council? Okay. I'm watching it right now. I guess we're done here then, if we can't. Now we're not going to see anything. Come on. They're not going to let us see bullshit.
That's illegal.
Because they needed to see if they were on the sidewalk. That's why.
But they're not allowed to.
Shout out.
But they're not allowed to close the sidewalk. You're not allowed to stop pedestrians. That is, I mean, the city attorney spoke on that, and they know it.
Specifically, if somebody says, "Oh, well, I need to get to my car," and they would say, "Okay, do you have an ID?" And so then I just started saying, "Stop." I switched off. I filmed everything. So, it's the law. This is just for event, and there were only maybe 5 total.
5 or 6. I think there was.
So how is?
I think there were 6 officers.
Sent to 5.
For how many hours? Like 5 hours. That's $32,000.
Last time I was at the Shrine Auditorium 3 years ago. This is where I audit might be. I know myself. I will be so sad if I don't.
No, I'm ready to sue the city because they're violating my rights.
Are such forces of nature. Shout out to the powerhouses. I think we should all go back to Audit LA.
And I know because money.
Give Mara and Audit some support. They're amazing. I wholeheartedly support the work they do. Appreciate you all for coming in and supporting me. It's not money. There we go. Yeah. Traveltology is going to try to get some sleep. Get some sleep. I hope you feel better. Get better. Okay, guys. Thanks for coming in. If someone feels offended by swear words, that is a reflection of their values. Doesn't mean I need to change mine. That's true. Yeah. Thanks, Cricket. Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Big Chief. Thanks, Monica. Thanks, Traveltology. Thank you, Kakan. Thank you, everyone. Jennifer. I think that's everyone that showed up. Thank you all for being so supportive. I'm sorry I didn't get to speak, but man, it was powerful to listen to and get to be a fly on the wall, as it were, to everything going on today. And I want to say get out and do something fun, but this is not appropriate. I think stand up for what you believe in is a more appropriate goodbye for today. Bye, guys.